Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be checking out one of my absolute favourite Warhammer models, Stormhawk Interceptor. This thing just looks so cool, and it's one of the most badass flyers in the Space Marine arsenal. Let's get into the build and paint. I can't wait to show you how this turns out. Hey there hobby heroes, it's Isaac here from Mini Madness, the place where paint meets plastic and dice decide destinies. Grab your brushes and let's get rolling. Today we're going to be building and assembling and painting this absolute favourite of mine. It's a badass minifigure, and it's going to be the first episode of my new series, Madness to Masterpiece. So I'll pop in sort of in and out of the corner here, you know, just to chat about how I'm feeling and what I'm up to throughout the process. Yeah, so this figure took me about 10 days to get completed. Thanks to like work, family commitments and stuff, but by the end, you know, I was really happy with how it turned out. I'm a like bit of a beginner to the hobby, so I'm hoping to improve my skills as the channel grows. So if you're into painting, building, collecting and playing with models and more, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss anything out here at Mini Madness. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you in a moment. after I'd got all the things assembled where they needed to go. Now we're on to what I think is the fun part, and that's painting. So I'm just putting on the base coat here, and going to put that on a fast forward, as you can probably tell, just so things happen a bit quicker and you don't have to put up with the same sort of 10-day wait that I did. So yeah, we're just putting on base coat. Here we are adding the steel components, painting all that up. Did need a bit of cleaning up after this, so there's a short sort of clip of us cleaning things up, getting them ready for the finishing touches. we are, cleaning up. This bit took quite a bit longer than I thought it would. I learned not to be so sloppy around on the first pass, so I don't have as much to clean up when I'm coming back over with the base coat's colour, just to make sure everything's nice and tidy and that we don't have too many sort of blowouts of colour.
Pow.
Looking pretty good so far. I'm happy with it at this point, but I know it's got a few more details which should be added. So the rest of the video is sort of me adding those little details in and touching things up, shading and stuff like that to really bring a bit of contrast onto those colours there. In Warhammer we want things to look a little bit war sort of ready, war used, oiled up, good to go. So things like Agrax Earthshade, pretty effective at making those things pop for me anyway. So now putting all the white on, which is the finishing touches, really tying everything in there, make it look a little bit more realistic. And this bit was quite complicated to get the white at the front of the window there nice and straight without blowing over to any of the other faces on the glass there. I'm assuming it's normally glass, but for my particular model it's actually just a steel sort of protective cover for the unit inside there. So just getting this one cleaned up now. been a pretty fun project for me. I've enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to be doing more sort of Warhammer related content. But this one here was the first sort of larger Warhammer build that I've done, and I haven't done many Warhammers at all up to this point. So yeah, if this video was, entertaining to you, or you got something out of it, if you want to see more, click subscribe. We're going to be trying to do sort of weekly to fortnightly videos, and just keeping things regular with what we're doing here at Mini Madness. So if that sounds good to you, then I'll see you on the next one.